Let's be real, celebrity feuds come and go, but what's brewing right now between Carrie Underwood and the ladies of The View, oh honey, this is no ordinary feud. This is a full-on televised courtroom earthquake. Because we're not just talking about a few shady comments or passive-aggressive shade on daytime TV, nope. We're talking about a defamation lawsuit so massive it has Hollywood, Nashville, and every media exec from L.A. to NYC clutching. There pearls Carrie Underwood, America's country sweetheart, with lungs of gold and nerves of steel, has launched an $800 million lawsuit against The View, and the name at the very center of it all, Whoopi Goldberg. Yeah, that Whoopi, and now, after weeks of silence, leaked emails, and fan outrage, Whoopi is doing something no one thought she ever would. She's begging on air behind the scenes through her reps. According to insiders, Whoopi is pleading with Carrie to drop the lawsuit before it goes nuclear, because if this thing reaches trial, it won't just take down reputations, it could blow up the entire legacy of The View. But Carrie, she's not blinking. Before we dive into the juicy court drama screenshots and behind-the-scenes panic attacks, go ahead and smash that like button and hit subscribe for daily updates on celebrity lawsuits, talk show meltdowns, and media karma in real time. Did you just subscribe? Awesome. All right, seatbelts on, folks. Let's dive in. It all started with one choice: a microphone, a flag, and a national stage. Carrie Underwood, America's country sweetheart, accepted an invitation to perform at Donald Trump's second inauguration event.
Accepted an invitation to perform at Donald Trump's second inauguration event.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
For Carrie, it wasn't about red or blue. It wasn't about approval ratings or political divides. It was about standing up, holding her head high, and singing for her country, period. She believed her music was about unity, about faith, about America. And in her eyes, this was a chance to honor that. But to the ladies of The View, it was nothing short of betrayal. The next day on live national television, they came for her like a pack of gossiping wolves in matching heels. Joy Behar scoffed, "So hard, people thought she had a cold." Carrie Underwood is either painfully naive or desperately seeking attention. She sneered, "She's a microphone away from a MAGA hat," she says.
She says, "I love our country." How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country?
The audience roared, but they weren't done. Sunny Hostin chimed, her tone razor sharp. She just aligned herself with hate. She said, "You can't sing about Jesus one day and perform for Trump the next. That's not unity, that's hypocrisy." Then Whoopi leaned in, her smirk growing wider, like a cat about to pounce. "Let's be real, this ain't a love ballad, sweetie. It's a full-blown political train wreck." Cue more audience, laughter, more clapping, more validation from the in-studio echo chamber. But what no one saw was Carrie watching from home, calm, stoic. She didn't clap back on Twitter. She didn't post a 3-minute crying video on TikTok. She didn't even issue a vague PR statement, nope. She did something far more powerful. She picked up the phone, and she called her legal team. A few weeks later, just when the media thought it had all blown over Carrie, Underwood dropped a bombshell that made every newsroom in Hollywood screech to a halt: an $800 million defamation lawsuit filed against Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, Sunny Holland, and ABC itself. The charges: character assassination, strategic public humiliation, calculated media bullying disguised as commentary.
I can't sing a lick, but I certainly, and I have not been asked, but if I were asked, it would be a hard no.
Well, they wouldn't ask me, so I have nothing to say.
And Carrie's legal team, they didn't walk into court with assumptions. They walked in with proof. We're talking full transcripts from the January broadcast, leaked production notes, showing they planned a segment in advance emails where producers literally wrote, "Let Joy lead the attack." A prep sheet labeled Whoopi's Closer Must Sting audio, recordings of off-air banner mocking Carrie's faith fans. And Southern Roots, one internal email literally said, "Use Carrie to bait online traffic Trump content. always trends. She'll be our algorithm booster boom Carrie. Wasn't a guest, she was a pawn, and she had receipts her lawyers released a cold, clear statement. This isn't about partisan politics. This is about a public figure being weaponized for ratings. Ms. Underwood has the right to perform. Without becoming a public punching bag, she did not ask for this fight, but she is ready to finish it. Fans, there were stunned media outlets scrambling. And The View, let's just say the heat got turned way up. Suddenly Joy's Sunny and Whoopi weren't just commentators, they were defendants. And Carrie, she wasn't just a singer anymore. She was a woman on a mission now. Let's talk about Whoopi. At first, she brushed the whole thing off like it was a bad tabloid. Rumor, a shrug, here a snarky eye roll, there she. Even joked off camera that Carrie will get over it. It's not like she hasn't faced a few bad reviews before. But the moment leaked documents, private emails, and behind-the-scenes recordings started rolling and something shifted, insiders say it started subtly. Whoopi, once the queen of quick-witted sarcasm, began showing up to tapings late, not fashionably late, uncomfortably late. She skipped briefings, she snapped at her makeup artist at one point. She reportedly stormed off set during rehearsal because the lighting wasn't right. And when cameras rolled, her spark dimmed. Her once fiery commentary turned dull, hesitant, safe, like someone walking on eggshells. Producers noticed it, co-hosts whispered about it, and viewers, they felt it too. Then came the court summons. That's when the spiral stopped being private.
Country superstar Carrie Underwood has spent most of her career avoiding political talk, but she's set to perform at the upcoming inauguration. She said in a statement that she's doing it because the country must come together in the spirit of unity and look to the future. And lots of her fans aren't thrilled about it, but lots of her fans are. So let's put this in perspective here. What do y'all think?
I personally hope we're moving beyond the era of politics where we want to cancel people's livelihoods because we don't like their politics. And whether it was the Dixie Chicks for criticizing George Bush, didn't agree with it then, and Carrie Underwood, if you have a problem, you register your complaint by not downloading her songs and not going to her shows.
Right.
But I also think from a business standpoint, it's not a bad decision for Carrie Underwood. 75 million people voted for Trump. Artists tend to skew left-leaning, so she's overnight going to become an icon of MAGA and the American right. She's probably going to make a lot of money off of it. So I get why she did it.
According to courtroom sources, Whoopi showed up looking nothing like her usual confident self. No swagger, no bold entrance, just a black pantsuit, oversized sunglasses, and the tightest lipped expression you've ever seen. Her hands visibly trembling as Carrie's legal team played back the now infamous segment line. By brutal line, you could hear a pin drop. The host laughed at the audience's claps, Joy's dig, Sonny's jabs, and Whoopi's now infamous country song. Disaster comment. Whoopi stared at the floor, but then came the final blow, of voice memo crackling over courtroom speakers. And yes, it was Whoopi. Let's stir the pot. Carrie's too calm. I want her rattled. If we're lucky, she'll fold. The room froze. You could practically feel the temperature drop. Reporters shifted in their seats. A few audible gasps echoed. Whoopi lowered her head, not in defiance, not in exhaustion and shame. She had nothing to say, no comeback, no defense. And that silence, it was louder than any opinion she's ever shouted across. The View table now, let's go behind the scenes, because while the courtroom drama unfolded in public, the real chaos was happening inside the ABC boardrooms. Executives losing its sources say the network thought Carrie's lawsuit would be a headline for a week of PR hiccup. But when those internal emails and segment planning notes came to light, the tone changed instantly. Emergency meetings were scheduled. Legal counsel was flown in ABC's top tier sponsors quietly stepping back as dollars started slipping through the cracks. Ratings dipped. But here's the kicker. It wasn't just a network scrambling anymore. Whoopi Goldberg, the unshakable matriarch of The View, was reportedly begging behind closed doors, not to media, not to her fans, to Carrie Underwood. Through legal intermediaries, Whoopi's team allegedly sent multiple feelers asking if a private settlement could be arranged. No press, no trial, just a way out. Why? Because more is coming. More emails, more unedited footage, more voice memos like the one that left the courtroom speechless. A show producer who asked to remain anonymous revealed. Whoop's terrified not of paying millions. She's got that kind of money. She's afraid of becoming the face of media hypocrisy. She doesn't want this to be what people remember her for on camera. Whoopi tries to keep calm. She smiles weakly. She nods along. But the jokes, they're gone. That signature spark flickering off camera. A different story. Nervous, pacing private tantrums. Even talk of taking a hiatus. For health reasons, and Carrie, not a peep, not a single tweet, not an interview, not a subtle shade post, just one icy calm line from her legal team. We are proceeding as planned. And that right there's what's sending chills through ABC's halls. Because Carrie's not just suing, she's making a statement. And Whoopi, She finally knows this time the audience isn't on her side.
Underwood will take the stage at Trump's inauguration singing America the Beautiful. She said to the Post, "I love our country and I'm honored to have been asked to sing at the inauguration and to be a small part of this historic event. I am humbled to answer the call at a time when we must all come together in the spirit of unity and looking to the future." Well, that wasn't good enough for the tolerant left, of course, who is outraged over Carrie being outed as MAGA. X is blowing up with jokes about how she should sing her hit song Before He Cheats. Some are calling for her to be boycotted and canceled. John Rich weighed in, saying there are several top-tier country artists who support Trump, and I wish they'd finally have the balls to come forward and be counted. Ain't nothing outlaw about keeping your mouth shut to appease the record label. Carrie Underwood is making you look like a bunch of sissy boys. Carrie is talented, she is graceful, she is a class act, she has great legs, not that it matters, but she is everything that the tolerant...
Let's just say Twitter has entered the chat, and this time it's dragging The View harder than ever before within minutes of the leaked court audio. Going public, the hashtags were everywhere when Carrie claps back Whoopi new sit-down sunny justice for Carrie media accountability. Now thousands of users flooded TikTok with fiery side-by-side edits. On one side, Carrie Underwood stepping gracefully into court, crisp suit calm aura on the other. Visibly shaken Whoopi Goldberg drawn in courtroom. Sketches hair, frazzled eyes heavy with regret, a viral video titled, "From Stage to Slam Dunk Carrie Silences the View." Hit for 7 million views and under 10 hours of caption. She didn't bring a song. She brought the smoke and the subpoena. And the meme Savage one had Carrie edited into a courtroom, holding a golden microphone in one hand and an ironclad lawsuit in the other. With the words Carrie Underwood, certified hitmaker courtroom heartbreaker, another had a photoshopped image of Whoopi hiding behind the View logo, like it was a legal shield with the caption, "Talk show bullies when the lawsuit lands." Even comedians on late night shows didn't hold back. Jimmy Fallon, Crack Whoopi, thought they were filming an episode. Turns out it was a deposition. Trevor Noah chimed in, thus Carrie said, "Jesus, take the wheel," and then drove the View into a courtroom wall. Meanwhile, news anchors from CNN to Fox News were dissecting the implications. One commentator from a popular morning show bluntly stated, "Whether you support Trump or not, what happened to Carrie was textbook character assassination, and people are sick of it. Fans who had once been split politically were now standing together. It wasn't just about Carr's performance anymore. It was about respect, truth, and setting boundaries." A Reddit post titled, "I don't even like country music, but Carrie just made history," gained over 120,000 upvotes, with users praising her composure and refusal to back down.
So I get why she did it.
I say.
I mean, right? It's country music. I think
I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't do it, even though I
You
can't
would
sing.
not sing?
No, I would not. I would not normalize him. And she says, "I love our country." How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country, in my opinion? I don't understand how you say you love your country at the same time as you normalize this convicted felon, which I can say now every day.
A lot of my family voted for Trump. They love the country and vote for him. I think that people make these decisions
Fine.
for a lot of reasons.
Okay, fine. And I would not be the person to say don't do it, because I believe in free speech and everything about it. I personally would not do it. No one's asked me, but that's another story.
Through all this chaos, Carrie Underwood never tweeted, not once. She didn't do press junkets. She didn't retweet any memes or silence. Spoke louder than any headline. And that silence, it's terrifying to view. So what happens now? Carrie Underwood's legal team has already made it clear they're not here to play if the View doesn't settle. And let's be honest, it's starting to look like they can't. This case is going to trial. And once it does, all the dirty laundry gets aired. That means raw footage, yes. Even the parts where mics were off, editorial emails, where segments were planned around mocking guests, behind-the-scenes recordings, where hosts discuss strategy to corner controversial figures, analytics decks used to justify baiting celebrities for rating spikes. One ABC insider anonymously leaked this. If this goes to trial, we're not just talking about The View anymore. Other daytime shows are shaking. No one's safe if this becomes precedent. Thing about it, if Carrie wins, media outlets will need legal teams in their writer rooms. Producers will think twice before saying, let's make this go viral. Talk shows will be held to the same standards as serious journalism, because the line between opinion and defamation, Carrie, just redrew in court.
Country superstar Carrie Underwood has spent most of her career avoiding political talk, but she's set to perform at the upcoming inauguration. She said in a statement that she's doing it because the country must come together in the spirit of unity and look to the future. And lots of her fans aren't thrilled about it, but lots of her fans are. So let's put this in perspective here. What do y'all think?
I personally hope we're moving beyond the era of politics where we want to cancel people's livelihoods because we don't like their politics. And whether it was the Dixie Chicks for criticizing George Bush, didn't agree with it then, and Carrie Underwood, if you have a problem, you register your complaint by not downloading her songs and not going to her shows.
Right.
But I also think from a business standpoint, it's not a bad decision for Carrie Underwood. 75 million people voted for Trump. Artists tend to skew left-leaning, so she's overnight going to become an icon of MAGA and the American right. She's probably going to make a lot of money off of it. So I get why she did it.
I say.
I mean, right?
And Whoopi, while things aren't looking good, ABC is already conducting an internal review. Sources say they're exploring suspension, force apology, or even letting Whoopi go to distance themselves from the lawsuit. One exec reportedly said she's a liability. Now it's not about her legacy. It's about survival.
Whoopi Goldberg is on thin ice to the point where they're actually coming out with a new promo for The View. I know that show that we can't stand to watch because, you know, she does things like this. She spits when she says the president's name.
Listen, take him seriously and take him literally.
I don't think that we have to. I think it would be remiss of us to not say Joe Biden knows how to do this. Yes, he knows how to do this. He's quite good at this. And you know, you can't refute anything with him because he just, when I say him, I mean
He rambles.
Trump.
Yeah.
He tends to just.
But can I mention one thing? Because Trump is out there calling.
Did you say his name? I said his name.
Oh,
yeah, it was a trick and it made me do it. But I'm just saying that that Biden knows what not to do.
The View, once seen as a bold voice of daytime TV, is now under scrutiny like never before. Carrie Underwood didn't just sue. She started what many are calling a media reckoning. She's not just defending her name. She's defending every person who's ever been turned into a talk show punchline for clout. And the craziest part, she hasn't said a word, not in court, not on Instagram, not in a single interview. She's letting the truth, the facts, and the receipts speak for her. So what happens next? Well, if this legal battle keeps building the way it has been, we could be witnessing the fall of one of TV's biggest talk empires. And when the dust settles, Carrie Underwood might not just walk out with a win, she might walk out with history made.